welcome back. This is Joseph with the My Cross, His Grace podcast radio. Can you handle the truth? I believe you can. The movie A Few Good Men came out in 1992, and there was an iconic line from that movie. It was, "You can't handle the truth." It was spoken by Jack Nicholson, playing Colonel Jessup, answering a question from Tom Cruise, who was playing Lieutenant J.G. Daniel Coffey, remember? So I bring this up because when people walk around asking what's going on in the world today, it's a way to help you understand and, more importantly, get ready to handle the truth. Here's what I mean. Have you noticed that censorship on Facebook and other platforms is noticeably a lot less in recent months than in prior years? You don't hear as many people joking with some measure of seriousness that they're in Facebook jail, that they've been fact-checked and banned for some period of time. You don't hear that as we once did. That's interesting. Much more truths are being revealed to the public a little at a time. So many truths about money, big pharma, vaccine injuries, doctor and nurse testimonies, patient accounts about deceptive hospital practices with regard to organ donations and organ harvesting, declaring people brain dead to harvest organs, and this and many more truths have been emerging, including how even metals in the body can be affected by radio frequency and even kill people, like a piece of aluminum foil in your microwave oven. When you turn it on, you see it doing that thing inside the microwave. The same thing could happen to people. Again, so very many truths are emerging. It's like the spigots have been opened and all the dirty little secrets against people are being revealed. It's good that people of the world can take this information and discuss it among themselves, thereby accepting information even if they accepted the lies before now. You see, so much truth is coming forward that it reveals itself to different people at different times. Now, if all this is planned to help divulge and correct the evils and wrongs of government, society, business, education, and everyday life, where are these revelations all leading people of the world to do? What's the corrective action? Is there going to be trials against the evildoers for crimes against humanity and crimes against animals? And is there a war against Christianity, silent or otherwise? Hear me on this. The world seems to be standing at a time of mass exposure, shifting narratives, and what some perceive as a reckoning. Let's break it down with clarity and honesty, without sensationalism, but also without evasion. Why is censorship loosening now? In recent months and years, there has been a visible shift in what's allowed to be spoken publicly on social media, podcasts, and even independent platforms like this one. Topics once labeled as misinformation or conspiracy theories are now being acknowledged in mainstream outlets, sometimes years after first being discussed in suppressed circles. Why is this? You could say it's a strategic leak or a controlled disclosure. Some believe that this is a planned release where the spigots get turned slowly to control the speed of the public awakening, let a little information out at a time. There's lawsuits and whistleblowers, legal challenges like those involving the Twitter files, vaccine mandates, or censorship collusion between the government and tech companies. That in itself has forced a transparency. There's even a slight platform shift with platforms like Rumble, Substack, X under Elon Musk. There's growing competition forcing big tech to either adapt or to be left behind. So where is all this leading us? Well, if humanity is being walked through a mass awakening, the goal may be multifaceted. Part of it could be reclaiming personal sovereignty, which is always important. People are questioning authority, systems, and narratives as never before. There's a return to decentralized living, which is helpful. There's homeschooling, natural health remedies, food independence, growing your own food. You know, prior to World War II, most people grew their own food in their front and backyards. But then grocery stores came along. People began to have green lawns instead of food. And so your ability and knowledge to grow food was replaced by simply going to the grocery store. There's also the possibility or the reality of systemic collapse forcing a rebuild of institutions. Medical, governmental, financial are all being exposed for corruption and other practices. This may lead to either reform or collapse before something better emerges in its place. There's a collective moral reckoning happening. Society is being pushed to confront evil, the evil of human trafficking, medical abuses, war profiteering. Yes, people make profit during war. And technocratic controls. A demand for justice may grow louder even if the courts do not act right away. So, will there be trials or accountability? Crimes against humanity? Yes, there is global momentum toward legal actions. Some examples include international criminal complaints that have been filed regarding COVID policies and vaccine harm. Whistleblower testimony from doctors, from military personnel and scientists continues to grow. Public tribunals. While official courts may drag their feet, alternative tribunals, like those modeled after the Nuremberg trials, are being discussed in civil society, and indeed it should be. But accountability may not always look like televised trials. It might come in the form of whistleblower-led lawsuits, collapsing industries, or massive public disobedience against corrupt systems. Is there a war against Christianity? Yes, and it's both silent and overt. There's a cultural erosion, you've noticed it, you've felt it, where Christian values are mocked, labeled intolerant, or erased from public life. It's a spiritual battle in many senses. Many feel that we're in an age of spiritual deception, where evil is called good and good is called evil. Just reread in the Bible, Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Persecution is rising, certainly more noticeable and covered more by media, but it needs to be covered and addressed on a greater level. Christians are persecuted in many countries. In the West, it's more subtle. It's a loss of freedom. It's more censorship and forced compromise on doctrine. Yet Christianity is not dying. It is refining. Many believers are returning to the roots of their faith, drawing closer to truth, prayer, community, and action. So, what is the corrective action for people? Well, wake up and stay grounded. Pay attention to the truths as they're disclosed. Talk about it among family and friends. Don't just consume the revelations, but pray about them. Fast over them. Journal about them if that helps. And ask, what is God calling me to do? Build local. Live differently. Exit broken systems where possible. Grow your own food to the extent that you can. Teach others truth. Help them to understand, both scripturally and in the public domain. Support local economies and create faith communities where you can, Bible studies and things like that. Now, resist peacefully, but do so boldly. Stand for truth in your sphere. You don't need to scream, just refuse to comply with lies. Prepare spiritually. That's your greatest strength. This is a spiritual war more than political. The only way not to be deceived is to stay close to Christ and to know the Scriptures. Now, a final thought I have is that the revealing of evil is not the end. It's the beginning of the purification of the world. What follows is really up to us, the people of the world, to embrace the truth and to rebuild firm foundations, or recoil in fear and let tyranny regain its control. This, we can't allow tyranny to come back or revisit us. Once we know what the truth is, we need to correct everything that we know needs correction. This is the moment that many prophets and saints foresaw. It's a time of shaking. Anything that can be shook will be shaken. But also a time of great hope for those who choose light over darkness. This is Joseph. You've been listening to and watching the My Cross, His Grace podcast radio. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, and God bless you.